Hey everyone, Ape Century here, back with another video. Today we're talking about Survivor 50, Episode 7. So let's get right into it. So one of the first things we see is that Stephanie is going to go on a journey. We see this because they get tree mail, and they have to decide who's going to go on this journey. So they decide to draw a shot in the dark out of a bag, and Stephanie ends up being the pick. She doesn't want to go at first, but she does. And she goes on this journey, and she has this challenge where she basically has to hold her arm in the air for an hour. And if she can do that, she gets an advantage. And we see that she says it's really tough for her, that they show flashbacks of her other arm in another season where she dislocated, and so that this is pretty tough for her. But she ends up completing the challenge, and overall, I like this segment. I really like Stephanie. She's one of my favorite players on the season, and so I really enjoy this moment of connecting with her, and then just really having the spotlight to shine. My whole thing was when she came back from the journey that people didn't really seem to they bought her story of that if she could hold it for a half hour, if then she would keep her vote, and if she lasted the full hour, she'd gain advantage. She said that she just did the half hour, and so only really Cirie is the one who caught her and was like, I know what you're doing. She didn't say that, of course. I mean, obviously Cirie is she just laughs things off and is like, okay, that's how she is, and that's why Cirie's so good. And plus, Cirie and Stephanie, they go way back. They know each other, so that's how Cirie was able to know. In the end, Stephanie was able to secure a steal a vote, so that's really the big thing there. I also want to talk about Coach in this episode because he does a lot of things, and he's just at times he's funny, and then at times he takes it too far, right? He's honestly so not mysterious, but he's so you don't know what he's going to do next. I guess unpredictable would be the word, right? And you don't know. People are going to say I don't know if he's lying, this, that, and the other. He doesn't even know, right? I mean, and that's the entertainment value of it, right? So, Jonathan approaches Dee in the beginning and is like, "Hey, I had to do what I had to do, but you lied to me too, and are you gonna admit it?" And Dee was like, I don't know. I mean that. So, and Coach was right there. He was in the hammock, and he's obviously in an alliance with Jonathan, right? And so he sides with him, and he doesn't even know about Dee anymore, And so, but Dee is, and what Jonathan was trying to do was get Dee to say something that would eventually come back and bite her, right? Which I think is what ended up happening. I just don't think it was shown. But one of the funny things that Coach says is, "You want war? We're gonna go to war. I'm gonna roll up my sleeves, and war's gonna begin." And it was just funny. And then, so after that, then I believe we get to the immunity challenge where Ozzy wins immunity. Now it was split off first into reward. So the first half of 7 of the 14, the first team would win the reward, and then of that team, one of those 7 is going to win immunity. The losing team got no reward, no chance at immunity, and so Ozzy was on the winning team for reward, which is Chinese takeout and brownies for whatever reason. And then he did end up winning immunity, and it was a hold the pole above your head, don't let the ball tilt over, stand on a perch, right? He ended up winning that. It was him and Joe in the final two. That was cool. He and Jeff said that he's one short of total, I believe it was immunity challenge wins across your Survivor career. And I believe that Boston Rob has the most at 9. He has one last. He has 8 now. So he would need one more to tie. Hopefully he can do it so that there's a new competition, or at least tie it, you know. So so that was cool. I wish we got to see more of the Chinese takeout. In the end, we eventually did not. Okay, so after that, then we get to back to camp, right? And we start talking about how the vote's going to go, factions, this, that, and the other. And so Coach is doing more of his shenanigans. So he's doing haikus. He's just sitting in his hammock. And he's just rattling them off in his head to people. And or even not, sometimes to himself, and other people are noticing it. Jonathan's like, what's he doing? And Emily's like, this is the third time he's just talking to himself. And Coach is like clapping to himself and like, you know, look at what I did. And, you know, it is what it is. Then he tries to pull Rizzo in and is saying, you're now one of the new 4 horsemen, basically an alliance. And it would be Coach, Rizzo, Jonathan, and Joe. Rizzo was unsure, but he's open to it, but he doesn't like being told what to do, I think. And I think that, you know, whenever someone says we need a 4th person, well, you're number 4, it doesn't sound too good on paper. But I think for a while he could try to use them as votes and get ahead. I don't think that's his long-term plan, though. And then so... but I think he likes Coach enough. I think he thinks he's funny. He's a student of the game. So, you know, good television, right? So, and then Coach decides to do this vote split for Tribal because everyone's going to Tribal together, and so that was good at least. And so, but he decides on this 7-4 vote. So he decides 11 of the 14 people are on his side. So he's thinking D, Tiffany. I'm hearing Aubrey was the other person he was not considering, though I don't think so. I don't think it was Aubrey, because Aubrey has said before that she wants to work with them. It might be Christian, or it might have been... No, it probably wasn't Christian. Maybe it was Emily. But anyway, because Emily was with D, right, and his new school. So it might have been her. Ultimately, he was trying to tell people how to vote, how much they could know of the vote, and that was seeming to rub some people the wrong way. I mean, he told Rick like something about middle people, and then, well, and something about how Christian can't know. Well, Rick is with Christian all the way, 100%. You can bet you he's going to go tell him. So Rick goes and tells Christian, hey, Coach said this about you. You know, it's just something to think about, just something to keep in the rear view of like, okay, this could be something. And they let it go for today. But I think if Coach were to continue this, that he could definitely rub people the wrong way. Right now, they just think he's a big goofball, I think. And but they ended up letting him dictate the vote. And ultimately, I mean, him and Jonathan together, I would say together, decided to get D out. Jonathan may have initiated it, but he didn't come up with the vote split idea. And the reason you do a vote split is because if everyone piles on the vote together, then she could have hit her shot in the dark. And then basically they would have decided who went home, not the majority. That's why you do a vote split, in case the main person you're trying to get out ends up staying. The next person would go home with enough votes that over the minority, right? So that would be 4/3 in this case. The 3 being D, Emily, and Tiffany. But ultimately, actually, the vote ended up going 8-4-1. And the remaining vote actually did not get cast because D decided to forego that in exchange for a shot in the dark, which she ended up not hitting, obviously, and so she went home. The other thing to talk about here is that Rizzo also told Coach, there was an interesting moment where he said that he said, hey, let's just calm down, you're getting heated. We slay dragons at tribal, not at camp. That was kind of a cool reference, and Coach kind of took it seriously, and whether that was Rizzo's intention or not, that ended up what happening. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a good moment. He's like, I'm teaching people double the age of me how to play Survivor. I really think Rizzo thinks he's one of these like new players that has a handle in the game, that has enough confidence. I actually truly believe he thinks he might be one of the greats. Now, he has to win, obviously, otherwise you can't. I mean, that's just how it is. He definitely has talent and potential, for sure. I mean, he very close in his original season. I mean, and then we get to the other, I would say, big part of the episode where this whole thing about Aubrey and her idol. Well, I'll come back to D, but so ultimately, people are telling Aubrey that she has to play her idol, and because she didn't play it the night before, and my whole thing is like, what does it matter to other people whether she has an idol or not? That's her thing. And she's like, yeah, I forgot to play it last time. That didn't swindle anybody. Horrible life. That was her. Even if that was the truth, if she was like, I genuinely forgot that you all told me to play it. I mean, saying it, I don't know. It didn't go over well whatsoever. And so, but the whole thing is like, she did end up playing it today, and for no apparent reason. I mean, she didn't get votes. She wasn't going home. Ultimately, she got peer pressured in, and other people are saying that she probably should have kept it, that her playing it made no sense. Right now, because of the Billie Eilish boomerang idol twist, it's not going to boomerang back to anybody. What no one's talking about that I've seen is that this idol is going to get re-hidden. I don't know if it's going to be a Billie Eilish boomerang idol, but whenever an idol's played at Tribal Council, the idol goes back into the woods to be found. So maybe someone ends up going to look for it. It would shock me if nobody doesn't, because that's just not how it is. But so that's something. And yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk about was D and Tribal Council. So she does initiate the first live vote of the season. I should also, it's also worth mentioning that this was the record for most people ever at a Tribal Council, 14 for one vote. So that's something. Last week it was most eliminations in one episode, most Tribal Councils in one episode of 3. But going back to D here, yeah, so basically D says, well, she plays her shot in the dark. But she said in her initiation for starting the live vote that she has enough votes for Coach tonight. Let's get him out. But if she plays her shot in the dark, that takes it from 14 votes to 13. You would need a majority of 7. And if she had the majority, then why'd she play her shot in the dark? Conversely, if she didn't play her shot in the dark, then she had the majority. And in that case, why would you play your shot in the dark? So the whole thing made no sense. It was a ruse, right? So basically, she shouldn't have either said she had the majority or she shouldn't have played in the shot in the dark. They're two different things. Either you had the majority, because when you play your shot in the dark, you lose a vote. And if she had the vote, because then you're taking away from the votes for the majority, it just simply didn't happen. And you would need a majority of 7-7, but it was 8-6. It was like the whole thing. I think she was just grasping at straws. I think that she was. I think that she was just trying to stay longer. Ultimately, I mean, nobody voted her way. I mean, even her and Tiffany couldn't get on the same page, right? Because Tiffany voted Coach, but she ended up not even voting. So the whole thing was a ruse. And the other part that bothered me was on her exit, she kept talking about blood, and was like, yeah, I'm coming for blood, I'm coming for warfare, you already started the first live vote by getting up and trying to gather non-Taraja votes. That's partly warfare. You also played your shot in the dark, and when you did that, you know, you're saying that, and then her whole thing was like, okay, if I survive this, I'm coming. Like, I think she said this in a confessional, that if she survives this, she's coming for blood. What was tonight? And what are you willing to do in the future? So I'm so glad she left. And I think Tiffany can go next. I think Tiffany's in the same boat. My whole thing is like, I don't know if Tiffany's gonna go next, you know, because it would be an easy vote, but how many times do we see that? So now allegedly there's going to be a double vote next episode because of the title and everything like that, and then something about tribal council. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back for episode 8. All in all, I thought this episode was good, definitely better than the last one, and I'm enjoying the season. So that's all for now. Take care.